Hello everybody. So in this video I'm going to show you how to use a program called Do Not Spy. What is this program? It prevents Windows 10 from collecting information in your installation. Now, to start off, I'm going to open up the program. I installed it about a week ago actually. I just haven't had time to do a video, so that's what I'm doing now. Now when you open it up, if you can see it on camera, it gives you the Windows version that you're currently running. Obviously this is 1903. If it was 1709 it would say 1709 and stuff like that. So advertising. I'm going to deselect these real quick. I tested it out. You can disable advertising in Windows Explorer. That's when you look something up and then you get an ad for it. You can disable and reset advertising ID so that way it doesn't keep happening. You can disable app suggestions in the Windows Ink workspace. Disable Bluetooth advertising in case you get advertising over that. Disable start menu app suggestions. The issue with that, in start menu you do get suggestions on what to download. You can disable that. Disable third-party suggestions. What is that? That is Google Chrome is notorious for this, and that's why I don't use it anymore. You get ads down here near your clock. I could disable that. Personally, I wouldn't use Google Chrome. Their Android operating system is actually really good. If it's on that, it's pretty good. So, if I scroll down here, you could disable access to account info, meaning password and stuff like that. Disable access to calendar, even though I tried that and it still showed up. Access to contents and so on. File system, meaning I can't go in to the computer itself and find it. You have your file system. You could disable all these are all apps. So this is Windows Defender. I could physically disable it through here. Cloud protection, you could disable Windows Defender sample submission, enable network protection. Now you have Microsoft Edge. Now a Microsoft Edge is a Windows 10 default. Even though Internet Explorer is still on here, for me, I don't use Edge. But some people do, and some of the Microsoft stuff does. You can disable everything. You can disable Adobe Flash Player, disable Cortana, disable page prediction, disable pre-launching, disable saving credit and card data. Meaning when you buy something and you insert and it says save now, and you go back in and it says, hey look, you can disable that from happening. Now, here's an interesting thing. Cortana is part of Edge, which I didn't know until I read this. This is part of the Edge browser. So you disable the Cortana, you can do all that. You have privacy. You can disable activity feed, auto map downs, and so on and so on. There's so much here. I want to keep this short and sweet. And this is all privacy. You could disable and reset Cortana. You could disable cloud search. You could disable getting to know me. You could disable web search. Now, do not show recent open applications. Meaning, if the power goes out and everything's open, and then you turn your computer back on, or it powers on after a power failure, in your BIOS, you set it up to when the computer receives power to turn on. When it boots up, you can say, hey, don't do that. Or open files. That is when you open a folder, and not where you select the drives and the folders and all that. On the window directly to the right, you will see recently opened. It shows you the recently opened files. Now, here's an interesting start. You have your updates. You could disable automatic driver update, which means if a device is hooked up, if the driver is digitally signed by Microsoft, you can download it and do that. Well, let's say you had a problem with the newer updates for all your devices. You can come in here and disable that. Speech module updates, there is an accessibility. I'm not sure what they call it in Windows 10, I forgot. But there's a speech, there's a computer generated voice, and you can disable that. You can disable automatic update, Windows Store updates, which means you can download the updates and it keeps them. You could disable that. You can disable automatic Windows updates. Some people, I understand why, because they don't want their computer just doing it while in the middle of the stuff, even though you can go into Windows updates and you can pause it for a certain amount of time. You want to disable it, this is to be the easiest way to do it. You can disable malicious software removal tool via Windows Update. Okay, about that, there is a protection tool that Windows Update has, and I should say Microsoft. Now, it basically detects malicious software and removes it. If you don't want it, you can have it. Anything in blue is okay. This is kind of like, I don't recommend you do that, and red is like, no. But, depending on the user. Now, what I do recommend to test this out is set up a virtual machine to test it out before you use it on physical hardware, because if you crash a virtual machine, you crash a virtual machine. Okay, so the last one here is disable Windows Update Sharing. Update sharing, you can share updates. It's a network thing. I've never really set that up. But if I remember correctly, that's what it is. So, I don't have Cortana set up. So, what I can do always create a restore point just in case something happens. Okay, so it is now done. Now, unfortunately, my Windows installation did an automatic update a little bit ago. Otherwise, this would catch it. So, where do you download this? You can go to Major Geeks, Softpedia, and a couple other sites I don't remember the names of right now. So, anyway, that is it for this video. Please comment, like, and subscribe.